Every indicator you have on your trading view right now, I want you to go in there. I want you to delete them all because none of them matter. The greatest indicator of them all is here. It's flash. 200,000 Bitcoin, guaranteed, confirmed. Today's show is themed around price predictions for your favorite altcoins. Myself, Rob, and Forrest. We'll talk about specific altcoins. I think I have between 5 to 7 in mind. And we're going to talk about some news on them. And then we're going to talk about our bear and our bull case for the market top this cycle. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, Cardano. We're going to talk about Pudgy Penguins. We'll talk about a few other alts. We'll let Rob pick one. We'll let Forrest pick one, and we'll discuss. It's going to be a fun show today, so we hope you're ready. We hope you're tuned in. Grab your popcorn. Grab your Unreal M&Ms. And let's get the show going. Gina, roll the intro.
Hola! It's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. We take old, boring, stale information and we do something with it. And, well, here it is. We are at the point where good things happen. It's all-time highs. Not quite there, the exact number just yet, but we are smelling it.
Zcash.
The 123 is here, and Zcash is taking a little bit of a breather today, but still at $140.
Damn, you're terrible.
Yeah. Just curious how this thing's up 160% in the last 7 days. Yeah. You know, what I'm seeing here, just I won't go too deep into it just real quick, but what I'm seeing is some of these older projects, the ones from last cycle and cycle before, seem to be catching some steam. Zcash, BNB, Pancake Swap up 30%. You know, there's a lot more to Pancake Swap. You got Aster, and you know the chain is coming alive. But we did highlight Pancake Swap as a potential for a breakout. I think this week. So here we are.
Also, love pancakes. The greatest pancakes. We have our boy Forrest joining us. Look at that chart real quick before I bring Forrest on. You see that, Rob? What is that letter right there? That's a W.
Okay.
You would know nothing about that. Forrest, welcome back to the show. We missed you. It's been a week. How you feeling today, bro? You feeling pretty bullish or what?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty bullish. Short term, we'll see if this is another fake out on Bitcoin. Hopefully it's not. I'm long. I'm ready for it to rip, but also ready to survive a dip if we have to.
I'm ready for it to rip, bro. It's time. You know, the greatest indicator ever, Forrest, has officially flashed. Gentlemen, buckle up. The McRib is back. The McRib is back. You guys, historically, Bitcoin rallies 200% when the McRib comes back. Take a look at this chart. This was posted by Intern, bruh. McRib returns in 2021. Bitcoin rallies 2x. McRib returns in middle 2024 or 2023, and well, the Bitcoin doubles. And again in 2024, and now the McRib is back, my friends. The McRib is back. Our friend Alex O, he knows it. Rob loves these things, doesn't he? Yes, he does. And, well, how would Alex know Rob loves McRibs? Well, let's take a trip down memory lane, gentlemen. This was such a trip down memory lane that we were DR Crypto here. Not Sin City Crypto. We were DR Crypto. And, well, this was, dude, how long ago was this? This was November 3rd, 2021. Here is Rob.
The hell is going? Are you eating a McRib?
Oh, it's so good.
Jesus Christ, man. How many? That's why you were gone for 30 minutes.
The McRib is back, baby.
How many did you eat before this one?
It was number 4.
No wonder you were in the bathroom.
I've been looking for the... I can confirm he actually ate 4 of them, and then he was stuck in the bathroom for about an hour and a half.
I'm more of a salad kind of guy now versus the McRib,
Definitely not a roast
which prompts me to my my next going to McDonald's for a salad is like going to a prostitute for a hug.
Fair enough. You know, my favorite saying is, you know, when someone's being really useless, I say, you're about as useful as a hooker who wants to cuddle. Yeah.
It's a good bargain, you know.
Yeah.
$100 an hour for a cuddle.
Yeah.
I take it.
Great. Forrest, I'm going to come to you first, but before I do that, I want to share this. You know, I spoke about this on the 1st, which I think was Tuesday or Wednesday. We talked about this on that day. I said I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we were over $500 million in inflows, and we came in at October 1st, $675 million flowed in to the Bitcoin ETFs. BlackRock leading the way at $405 million. Well, guess what? Yesterday, very similar numbers, and again with BlackRock leading the way at $466 million of inflows. I'll get to Rob in a second. Forrest, I want to ask you first. You brought up a question that I think a lot of people are trying to find the answer to. Is this another fake out? Is this another rally 11% to 124,500, and then very soon after we fall down 14% down to $107,000? You can see my chart here for us. This is a absolutely massive, beautiful W pattern, which should see a little bit of a flag here, a falling channel, and then the ultimate breakout. What are you, what's your thesis and thoughts on Bitcoin's price action now? If you were to put probabilities on whether we're going to see some consolidation or whether we are going to put in a new all-time high, we're not too far off. 124.5, according to Bitstamp, is the all-time high. So we're about less than $2,000 away. Forrest, what's your feeling on this move? Is it different from the one we saw here? Are there similarities? What can people expect, and what are you expecting?
Yeah, so ultimately it's bullish, like you said. The WW double bottom is bullish, and I lean bullish. This should flag out near all-time highs and then run. Alternatively, I think it's about 50-50 in terms of if we get a deeper pullback, like 115K or below. Like you could come down to 112, 115 and make an inverse head and shoulders, and it'll just be very painful and just draw out this this pain a little bit longer. But ultimately, this, like, if Bitcoin's going to be strong and stop underperforming, then it needs to flag out, make a new all-time high. It's lagging, you know, behind gold. It's been lagging behind silver, lagging behind Nvidia, lagging behind the stock market. If crypto's actually going to get a run here and be worthwhile being in over any of those other assets I just named, like, it needs to get a move on. It needs to flag out and start pumping. So I lean about 50-50. If this thing flags out and starts pumping, though, I just think it's super bullish. I think we could go to, like, 150, 170 a lot faster than people think.
Beautiful. I want to share this real quick. This could potentially be why we're seeing a rally. President Trump considers sending U.S. taxpayers up to $2,000 in stimulus checks using the tariff revenue. He's been boasting and bragging about how much tariff revenue the United States government has brought in. And may I remind the viewer, during the pandemic in December of 2020, November, December, when people were getting airdropped $1,400 checks, $2,000 checks, the crypto markets were I believe, the largest beneficiary. We saw just astronomically parabolic rallies out of a ton of altcoins, out of literally everything. And so could we be seeing 2020 2.0, 2020.20?
Bro, the money printer has started. I'm telling you, man, it's about to get real up in here.
Look at that money.
Oh, man.
Money.
When the U.S. airdropped, what was it?
I just said it, $1,400.
$1,400? Yeah. Oh, man.
But
what a day. GameStop went absolutely crazy.
Everything went crazy.
Bitcoin broke out.
Hold on.
I found myself.
Well, you're still finding yourself. Before Rob and I have discussion, I want to give a big thank you to today's show.
I also bought a new television with the stimulus check.
Can I thank our channel partner?
Okay, go ahead.
We want to give a big thank you to our channel partner, Stake.us, the #1 social gaming casino in the entire world. And well, they have a mobile app you can download on iOS or Android. If you want to have some fun, play some games, Rob and I got a video coming out tomorrow, or today or tomorrow. And now you'll have to see, did we win some free stake cash or did we lose our stake cash? You'll have to wait and watch that video. Also, we're thinking about doing a giveaway on that one as well. Either way, click the link in the description, support the channel, create an account, and then when you're in there, remember to redeem your free daily stake cash. Rob, I'm going to ask you the same question as Forrest. Do you think it's going to be similar price action to when we saw last time Bitcoin get up to 124? Or you think it's different because now we're in October?
It's new month.
October, November, we talk about all the time historically.
Yeah.
The most bullish months. What's your bear and your bull case for?
Well,
Bitcoin?
the way I was looking at it is that last month we started off with a bang, right? That was the bottom was what was it? September 1st we were like 108 or something, 109. And then from there, we made progress and got over to,
September 1st, we opened at 108.2.
Yeah, 108.2. So basically, at the end of the month, it's down. We made a lot of progress. Ultimately, we had
We actually closed up. We closed at 114.
That's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the month, up, to 114. And so I think we're getting a similar move here. Because if we start at 114, we're currently at 122. Like, don't forget, next week or in about a week and a half, you're gonna have the ETFs going live for altcoins.
Not even a week. A week, exactly a week is the first. I think it's Litecoin, October 10th.
Is it on the 10th?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, man. Things are gonna really rally up to
So
the
what's
race.
your bear case and your bull case for Bitcoin? The bear case is what?
Bear case would be 108, back to 108.
Back to 108?
Yeah.
What's your bull case?
My bull case would be new all-time high, above 130.
Like 131, 132?
For us to, the way I look at it, especially with historical price targets, or when you get into like price discovery, you usually overshoot and then pull back. And so for me, I think that what we'll see is if we want to stay at 130, we got to see something intense, right? We got to get to like 138, 140, 142. And then pull back and consolidate down to 130. If we just go up to 130 and we just kind of just hang out there and just tap it, I don't think we hold. I think we're back down. I think we need to clear with momentum
At that
the
point,
130.
At that point, though, I think the floor is the 122, the 120.
Yeah, I think if we don't clear 130 and make some set at an all-time high, like way above it, between 120 and 130 will be the channel that we trade in. We will probably consolidate and trade between 120 and 130 for an extended period of time. Maybe it's a month, maybe it's 6 months.
If we start consolidating in November for more than 2 weeks, I think the mini cycle theory is real, bro. I really do. I think it's going to move in 3-month cycles. I don't know. I could be proven wrong, but that's kind of my feeling and my thought. All right, let's talk about this. Samsung and Coinbase, massive partnership. Samsung expands Coinbase partnership for Galaxy users. We're talking about 75 million users globally. Samsung Electronics has expanded its partnership with Coinbase, giving Galaxy device users in the U.S. new ways to access crypto. As part of the collab, Samsung Wallet users will enjoy several exclusive perks, including a free 3-month Coinbase One Premium subscription. The partnership originally began in July of this year when Samsung Pay was integrated as a method for depositing funds and purchasing crypto on exchange. Drew Blacker, the senior VP of mobile product management at Samsung, said, quote, "Millions of Galaxy users rely on their smartphones for everyday tasks that go beyond socializing. Through our partnership with Coinbase, Galaxy users now have a simple and convenient way to access cryptocurrency from an industry leader. Samsung Wallet users can now view and manage their crypto assets, make bank and peer-to-peer transfers, and securely store digital data, including cryptographic keys. Forrest, I want to ask you first. Jesse Pollock from Base came out and said they announced during, I forget what convention or gathering it was, that they were looking into launching a Base token. I have said they will be launching a Base token. Rob kind of pushed back. I don't know where he's at. We'll get his opinion here in a second. But Forrest, if there is no, let's assume there's not going to be a Base token, and you're bullish on Coinbase, give me a proxy play for Coinbase and give me your bear and your bull case for it.
Okay, so I do think there will be a Base token. Jesse Pollock, his catchphrase is tokenize everything. So I do think there will be a token. And they've even come out and said that they're going to launch one, or they're creating plans to launch one. So I do think there will be one. As far as Base plays specifically, I mean, you could always just buy Coinbase stock. It looks pretty good right now. But alternatively, their big app is Sora. Another good Base play that we talk about a lot is virtuals. And then the largest meme coin on Base, I believe, is Brett, which is like a kind of a copycat of Pepe. So those are three off the top of my head. I think we talked about maybe bull cases for virtuals protocol going back up to $5 or $6. I mean, bear case, I mean, I'll just be quick about it on the Coinbase chart real quick.
Yeah, please.
If I can share my screen, I'll kind of show you what to look for if things are going to shake out bearishly on for Coinbase here. It would be the fact that we have failed to push over this prior high, right? We IPO'd, right? Made a little rally up to 360 back in November. That was the 2021 November top. And now we're technically actually forming what is a bit of a wedge, right? If you'll kind of maybe even draw it from this. Bit of an ascending wedge, which can be a dangerous pattern, a very volatile pattern. They can break either direction. I'm bullish, so I personally think that we are going to reclaim the 370-ish high and hold above it, and then break out to the upside for Coinbase. I'm not saying it's going to go to $1,000 overnight, like I kind of drew out here, but I think this is going to start accelerating upwards. We've now made our double bottom and then carved out a higher low here. I think we're kind of in this. We're just teetering on the edge. Bitcoin's trying to break an all-time high here, but the bearish case is this thing breaks down. This thing breaks down, it's not going to be pretty. And you're probably looking at, 50, 60% drawdowns across the board, which would probably mean bear market. Brett, Virtuals Protocol, Sora, or it's not Sora, it's Zora, sorry. It's Zora, Zora, USD. I think it's actually a chart that's done really well recently, and it's recently started to bottom out. So probably if I was going to go for any base play, I'd probably look for a break on this little wedge, this channel, look for this to start rebuilding. And I'd imagine it would do so front running a base token launch. So that's probably the chart that I'd be paying attention to, along with Virtuals Protocol. Not to spend too long on the charts, but Virtuals Protocol has a very similar pattern as well, with that kind of descending channel to look for a breakout on.
Beautiful. Rob, I want to ask you the same question. Let's assume there's no, but real quick, just if you can make it quick, are you still in the camp that Base is not going to launch a token, or are you kind of warming up to the idea that they are?
I'd say 50-50.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm 50-50.
Okay. So let's assume there's no Base token, which right now there isn't. What's your proxy play on Base if someone is bullish on the Base ecosystem?
Well, there's the obvious aerodrome if you just want that kind of traditional DEX. I think if you're looking at meme coins as a potential to run again, I think aerodrome is very, very enticing, right? You look at aerodrome, it's kind of flat on the 1 year, and it's had good price performance. It's been around for a little while. This is on the 1 year. It was at about $1 a year ago, so it's pretty much right at the same point it was. We did see it rally to over $2. That was back in December when meme coins and base ecosystem was really taking off. And it sold down to 30, 40 cents, right? And so the floor didn't collapse on it. It's not like bleeding. It's got a nice little reversal here. I think the only thing that's really missing is meme coins. I think meme coins are fueling the DEXs on Solana. They're also fueling the previous pumps on Aerodrome. Also, it's been a lot of, if you look at what has been the thing that's kind of crushed it and what's been at the headlines lately would be Aster, right? Came out of nowhere, perp DEX, Binance. So immediately, the first thing I think of is like, hey, if base is going to take off, then where's the perp DEX on base? And so look no further than Avantis.
What a great pick.
And so here, this one, kind of flying in under the radar. We saw what Hyperliquid's done. We've seen what Aster's done recently.
MYX.
So, MYX.
That token crushed
And
it.
so this one on base, backed by Base and Pantera Capital as well. So some
And Brian Armstrong's been
yeah.
Yeah.
So I would keep an close eye on this one, and it's tiny market cap.
So Rob,
$300 million market cap could easily get into the $1 billion market.
I was going to say Aster got to 2.3. Do you think this one can 10x to 3 billion?
I don't know. It just depends. Like, do people want to use perps on base? Is the question, right?
Why wouldn't?
Because on Binance it makes sense. On and so
why wouldn't it? My question is though, why wouldn't it make sense?
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm obviously bullish. I'm just saying that like
I love that.
Like here's the thing. Like if go back to 2021, NFTs were taking off. If a chain was like, oh yeah, we're doing NFTs, it didn't really matter, right? It just mattered where the NFTs went to, right? And so you could have every layer one last bull market back in 2021 had their own decks, right? All the smart contract ones. But which ones were actually like getting the users and exploding, right? Uniswap, PancakeSwap, like there were others too, but those really just performed so well. They did amazing. But they also had the users. So you got to ask yourself, people were buying NFTs on certain chains that had the NFTs. People were participating in DEXs. So it just, if you ask yourself like, hey, if you are going to do some futures trading, some, use perpetuals, then are you going to do it on base? And the answer to that is a yes, or you think it will be, or some percentage of the users will use perps on base. I mean, that's like, I don't look no further than Avantis. So there you go.
Great pick. I also think the obvious, is Aerodrome, right? Integrated on the base mobile app.
I think if we get a meme like Christmas meme season or something like that, because it was last December is when the memes really took off. Trump was doing his thing. Like that's when the meme coins really
and then also they
killed it.
They really took down when he launched his own. Okay, so I think everyone knows that the obvious is Aerodrome. Well, you would have known that. So I'm going to give you two. They're kind of like, just little forks of what. So the first one is Cato, right? This one is on the social side with Base, the whole yapping thing. A lot of these new Base projects are integrating with Cato to get the leaderboards. It's essentially like InfoFi or SocialFi. This one's sitting at a 350 million market cap. It's a Base token. It's in the Base ecosystem, but I don't think someone correct me. I don't think it's Base exclusive. And the other one is Morpho. Morpho is the #1 protocol on Base in terms of TVL, 2 billion. Now they do serve 29 chains in total. But this is a massive play on Base, in my opinion. This one's higher in the market cap. It's around 638 million, just outside the top 10. And so, again, guys, we're talking about if Base does not have a token and you're bullish, how can you get exposure by proxy? I think what Forrest gave you what Rob gave you, and I think these are the great opportunities for us. Any commentary, anything you want to add to what Rob said about Avantis and kind of what I mentioned with Cato and Morpho?
No, I think if we get a base token, I think there's going to be a lot of hype around base, and you're going to see a lot of base projects pump. I think it's really that simple. Especially if people are trying to like chase an airdrop or farm an airdrop, which I think has already probably started. Right? If just crypto in general starts to pump, I think there's going to be a lot of people, based on what they said, that they're planning or started plans for a token. I think a lot of people are going to be trying to put some volume in on base and qualify for an airdrop. And I think that's one of those things where even if you put the legwork in on base now, even if they don't launch a token until a bear market, that could be like even in a bear market, stuff pumps. And that could be like a nice like bear market pump that, you know, you get a nice airdrop. Who knows how much it's for, but I do think like you can reward your future self by just putting some legwork in on base.
I agree. And when Jesse first announced the potential, we're looking into a base token. My first thing was they're trying to push usage on base. Not that their usage was lagging or needed help, but everyone knows, right? You want an airdrop, you got to be in the ecosystem. It's as simple as that. So I agree, Forrest. I think you're going to see a lot of these projects start to pump, start to see a lot of activity, start to see a lot of revenue generated, a lot of fees paid on their respective networks. And I think you can make money on all of them, in my personal opinion. Okay. So that's base. Let's talk a little bit about Solana. This is an interesting post here. Solana led all major networks in revenue in Q3 with $222 million, marking 4 consecutive quarters as number one. Over the last year, users on Solana have paid $2.1 billion to the network for block space, 46% of all the fees in all of crypto. And you take a look at the chart here. This was posted by Solana, the actual Solana handle. You see in green is Solana, in orange is Bitcoin, in this grayish blue is ETH. And then you have Tron, BNB down here, and in bright blue is base. And I think that's pretty much it as far as the significant ones. Forrest, you are a massive Solana bull when it was at $20. I mean, we crushed that trade. I know you, the assisting community, myself obviously as well, some of our viewers that were watching, tuning into us during not so favorable market conditions. That's why it pays to pay attention, right? Everyone just wants to tune in when the prices are high. That's not where you make life-changing money. Where you make life-changing money is when shit is boring and prices are down. That's where you get people like Forrest, like me, or like Rob, who have connections, who have resources, who do the research, are saying, hey, I'm looking at this one, or this one's interesting, or this one's undervalued. So Forrest, you were talking about Solana. You were a big Solana bull at $20. Where are you at with Solana at current price? And what's your bear and bull case for Solana for this cycle? And what would be the reason why it goes the bear way or it goes the bull way?
Sure. I mean, yeah, Solana looks pretty good, unless we just, fail to get a Q4 run. This should run in Q4. I think crypto in general should run in Q4. And if we don't run in Q4, then you probably don't want to be in crypto next year, which is like, not to bash crypto, but it's like it's had tons and tons of time to consolidate, right? Solana has been going sideways since March of 2024. So like a year and a half of like, if you've been sitting in Solana for the last year and a half, you've made no money other than like your 7% staking rewards. Meanwhile, stocks and gold and silver and then some other cryptocurrency, Hyperliquid, some of these other cryptocurrencies have been doing extraordinarily well. So Solana really has no excuse, if it's going to be bullish, to not just start running and breaking all-time highs. So I think with Solana, you just want to look for an all-time high break. I mean, this is just like a very extreme pattern, but I'd probably, take a pretty conservative measured move here to begin with. And I mean, even that is, you're potentially looking at like, Solana in the 700s range on a breakout of this long consolidation, which I know like it sounds weird to talk about $700 Solana when it's trading at 229, But if crypto is going to run here, there's really no reason why it shouldn't. Like, this has been consolidating for a year and a half. Like, when you get these long consolidations, right? It's been consolidating longer than it did over here. I mean, it's just actually just a blown up fractal of what our bear market bottom was, right? This price action looks, very similar to kind of this price action here, where it's just starting to climb up into this resistance. And then once the resistance breaks, right, you get that big violent move. So bull case, like, I'd say $500 to $700 is totally reasonable, right? That's how crypto moves. It consolidates for a very, very long time, and then it marks up. You get a markup, consolidation, and then expansion, or expansion, consolidation, expansion. Right. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for expansion. Expansion in crypto is fast. It's violent. It catches people off guard, and it moves higher than you think it will because you've been lulled to sleep in the boring sideways price action. So if we break the top of the range, $500 to $750 or so for Solana, potentially by the end of the year, early next year. Bear case, like I said, if crypto just kind of fails here, bear case, you're looking at another run on these lows, which is like 120. This ranged low has held, so many times. I would expect it to hold again, at least once before it, potentially could break lower. But that's not my base case. I see no reason for us to break below these lows. So I'd say 120 on the low end. I don't think we're gonna see that. I think 5 to 750 on the bull case.
So it sounds like you're saying if crypto has a massive run, Solana's going to go with it. There's some people, Forrest, who are overly bullish on Solana, or some might say overly bullish, some might say rightfully bullish. They're talking about $1,200, $1,500 Solana. Rob thinks it's going to $1,000. What, in your mind, Forrest, would have to happen for Solana to see that rally to $1,200 or $1,500? Like, what narrative?
Probably just take a little longer time. Yeah, I mean, I think like for Q4 I don't really see it going above like 750 in Q4. I think we would just need an extended Q2 2026 cycle for us to get that next wave. It's entirely possible, right? We've had this kind of like, if you're into like Elliott wave theory, this would be like your first wave, your consolidation wave. We're in like wave 3 out of 5. And then maybe we get a kind of a nasty pullback from 700 down to 300. And then that move up to 1,500 comes at some point next year. That's entirely possible. I just don't see it in Q4. Like, I just don't think we're going to go blast to 1,500 in Q4. I think that's just a little too aggressive. But otherwise, I do think that crypto can mark up quite a lot after this huge consolidation phase. So yeah, like I think those targets are totally fine. Just for me, I don't like to look too far ahead from what's ahead of us here over the next 3 to 4 months.
Forrest, I was sitting here. Do you know when Fire Dancer is going to go live?
No idea.
Yeah, like we just stopped hearing about it completely, and I was just curious. There's a lot of hype. I was excited about it. So for me, I kind of agree, Forrest. I was thinking like $600, $700 for Solana. It's still the most retail friendly chain, but it also has the capability to bring in some of these institutions. I think the big play is going to be in the stablecoin sector for Solana. And so for it to get to that $1,200 to $1,500, in my opinion, it can't just be hinged on retail and pumped out fun. And what's that other app that people were using that Trump launched his meme coin on? Not Moon.
Meteora?
What is it?
Meteora?
No. It was some app. Fuck. I'll find it, or someone in the chat throw it in there. It was the app, and it was available, and it just crushed like every single record. But anyways, so I think for it to get to that $1,200 to $1,500 that a lot of people, or not a lot, but some people are talking about, retail driven by things like pumped out fun, right? The meme coins. Some people like it, some people hate it. I don't care. It drives volume and use case and utility. Also makes the token deflationary as long as usage is higher. But it needs another vertical, in my opinion, and I think that one's going to have to be stable coins, right? Institutional stable coins. And with, what? Does someone have a freaking update on Fire Dancer? Please, if you do, share it. No, it wasn't Orca. It's not a liquidity pool. It's like an app where retail goes in and they can buy it directly from the app. You know what? Let me just see if I still have it in my phone. This will take me a quick second, or if I deleted it for some reason. Damn, dude. It was, yeah, I deleted it. Okay, we'll find it. I know someone in the chat will throw it in there. But yeah, that's kind of my thesis on Solana and the $1,200 to $1,500. But Forrest, I think I'm with you. $600 to $700 is where I'm at with Solana. And so, which, if you look, unless you're a greedy, I want a 50x, that's like a 3x. That's almost that. Yeah, that's pretty much a 3x. You're talking about a Moonwell. Wait, was it Moonwell? No, I don't know. It's just gonna drive me up the damn wall. Right? I mean, you're talking about the number 6 project. If you remove Tether, the number 5 project, very, very, very little, if any, risk, right? Unless Solana completely collapses. But that would be like if BNB or XRP completely collapse. I think Solana's past that point of us thinking it's going to go to 0. But of course, anything can happen in crypto. That's a 3x from a top 5 project. That would be like, hey, you can invest in what's the fifth largest stock company? Let's just say it's I don't know. Let's just say it's Netflix. Well, Netflix is going through some shit right now. Let's just say it's Microsoft. Hey, in 4 months you can get a 3x from Microsoft. Although it's not 1-to-1 the same, it's kind of in the same ballpark, in my personal opinion. All right. I want the chat to throw in. Keep trying to guess the name of that damn app. It's not Phantom either. I maybe it's Moonwell. I don't think so. It's Moonwell. Anyways, what is your bear case for Solana and your bull case for Solana? Moonshot. Thank you. LOPC. Moonshot. That's what it was. Apps like Moonshot, apps like Pump.fun. Those are the ones that I think are going to help, pave the way. So I want you to put your bear case first and your bull case second in the chat. I'm curious to see, and I'll pick a few from the chat to mention. All right, let's talk about one, Cardano. Okay, it's going to be an interesting one. This was at token 2049, and I think my biggest contention, and I think I'm speaking for Rob here. We lost Rob, but I think I'm speaking for him. His biggest contention, and I don't know about you, Forrest, but gotta get a freaking stable coin that's not. You need Tether or Circle. I'm sorry, you need it. Strike is a perpetuals exchange. They don't have USDT or USDC. Like, you just need it. Well, there's an update. Take a listen to this video.
I think one of the missing core primitives is a tier 1 stable coming into the ecosystem. So there have been numerous conversations by different parts of Cardano. So IO, CF, ourselves individually facing off against the USDTs, the USDCs, USD1s, etc. in the world. 24 hours ago, in a room not far from here, Fred, myself, Charles, Fami from Midnight, we're in a room speaking to a tier 1. And collectively presenting Cardano's compelling, ecosystem and need for a tier 1 stable. In fact, in that meeting, they also pitched to us why they find us attractive and why they think that there's a real opportunity to work together. And so that is an example that I don't think many in the community.
Okay. I'm going to call bullshit here. I think. I don't doubt that they had conversations, but let's face it. You want Tether, you want Circle, you got to pay. And when I'm trying to sell something to someone, I'm gonna milk their ego. I'm gonna give them a back scratch. I'm gonna say, "You're the best product I've ever seen. Yeah, let me work with you. Buy my product." So the whole Cardano is so attractive. If it was so attractive, then they would just bring the stable coin on. They wouldn't charge any money. So. But I don't dispute the fact. I don't think he's lying. This gentleman in the middle is lying about the actual meeting that happened. I don't know. It's like, you got the money, you want to pay? Cool, we'll come. We'll launch a stable coin on your platform. There's another 30 seconds of the video left. I'm going to finish and then we'll go to Forrest.
Thought would be possible even 2 weeks ago. but we actually made it happen because we actually want what's best for the community. Surprise, surprise, right? And when experienced professionals kind of talk and understand what is missing and what can we do together, you'll find very quickly that we can make it happen. So I think in the coming weeks and months, you're going to see a few announcements that are going to fill a few of those big potholes.
Okay. Forrest, thoughts on that? And I want your bear and your bull case for Cardano for this market cycle.
I'd have to look at a chart, but I can pull a chart up
Please, yeah.
on Cardano. No problem.
Also, what are your thoughts on the whole stablecoin thing, Forrest? Like them not having Circle or Tether, and then what this gentleman talked about with, hey, we got essentially alluding to they're going to bring a tier 1 stablecoin in. What are your thoughts on that? And do you think an all-time high is possible without it, Forrest?
I mean, yeah, the all-time high is possible without it if crypto runs hard enough, right? I mean, it's like the worst coins in the world are going to pump if, if we pump hard enough across the board. I'm not saying Cardano is the worst coin in the world. No, my thoughts here is just like Cardano's being absolutely punished for the decision by Charles Hoskinson to develop so slowly. They were just very, very slow. Solana came in a cycle like years after Cardano. Like Cardano had a multiple years head start on Solana. Solana launched smart contracts day one, just moved super fast. The fact that Cardano has not had, like, you can't put a stable coin on a chain that doesn't have smart contracts, so there's no point. There's no use. So the fact that Cardano's just taken this long to develop it, I think is like the biggest problem with it. It's like there's so much competition in this space now. You're just going to get crushed by competition that's willing to move faster than you. And Cardano has just moved horrendously slowly, terribly slowly. The fact that they don't have USDC or USDT yet is just proof that they've moved super slow. That being said, the chart does, in my opinion, look bullish. Just from a market structure perspective, you've got your low, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high. So, I mean, this thing's probably going to come up and make another higher high and hopefully a higher low, and then potentially be off to the races. Bull case, I think this thing skips a cycle and just runs into its prior all-time high. Actually, let me go to a longer term chart. There we go. Yeah, I think bull case here is probably this thing just makes another all-time, or just like, runs into the prior all-time high. I don't really foresee Cardano just going to like $20 or $30. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe crypto runs way harder than what, or maybe it runs a lot harder than what I think it's going to. But let's get to all-time high for starters. You got a lot of other charts already knocking on the door of all-time high. You've got BNB making an all-time high. You've got Tron. You've got XRP already made an all-time high this cycle at 370. XLM. There's just so many other charts that are stronger than Cardano at the moment. So it doesn't make it the most, attractive play for me, but this does have like a pretty clean breakout here. Like, I actually think that if crypto is going to run, Cardano's lagged enough that I think it could potentially be a pretty clean breakout trade here to its prior all-time high from, just under $1. And then if it falls here, you've got a pretty clean stop loss. So I think it's like, from a trade perspective, decently attractive here. Bear case is, obviously crypto falls out of style again, and we just probably move back down to these bear market range lows down towards 25 cents. So I'd say bear case 25 cents, bull case 370, ish, 360, 370 up here towards its prior highs above $3.
Yeah. I do have a poll up. Will Cardano get over $3.50? Right now it's 61% yes. 39% no. My biggest thing is the stablecoin, right? And I've gone on this rant about Cardano numerous times, and this is coming from a holder. I hold not only Cardano, but I hold Cardano native tokens as well. My biggest CNT position is SNEC. Anyways, I think Cardano's at a fork in the road, because I've said this numerous times, and I'll just say one more time in a short matter, is if you're after retail which has been the biggest driving factor for Cardano in every cycle thus far, stop talking about how great the tech is. No one gives a shit. If you're after the institutions and onboarding governments, we saw that in, I think it was in India. We know what they were doing with Ethiopia. I think there was something with Nigeria. The big thing with India, if that's your shtick and that's who you're going after, great. I think that's very important. Uptime, throughput, extended UTXO, yada, yada, yada. Great, perfect. But if you're after retail, stop highlighting that. Start highlighting why people can make money in your ecosystem. Well, not necessarily make money in your ecosystem, but the amazing dApps you have that make people want to stay in your ecosystem. And the way you make people stay in your ecosystem is you give them things to make money. Look at Virtuals. They got people in their ecosystem and they kept them there. Solana got people in their ecosystem and they kept them there. So I think that's what Cardano needs. And at the root of that is a fucking, excuse my language, a fucking stable coin. Tether and Circle. Just make it happen, dude. Please, for the love of God. For the love of God. I know 5 years ago they could have paid $3 million. Now it's $8 million. I don't care. There's like 1 billion ADA, a billion Cardano, which is almost $1 billion. Take 8 million of that, take 20 million of that, bring a damn stable coin in. Bring Tether, bring Circle. Have the other stuff. Beautiful. Give people the option. But like just every single chain that's relevant has Circle or Tether. Cardano needs it, man. Even if you're going after the institutions, you're going to need it too. So I hope what they were talking about at that conference is actually going to happen, that we got some news coming. We're always out for the best of the community. Great. Because when you look at dApps like Strike, the UI and UX is beautiful. I could compare. If I seen that, I would be like, this has like a Solana dApp feel to it. But like, there's no like the liquidity pairs are not there with what people have been trading. And so I think that's going to be the first step. If they can do that, I think it's going to open up like a world of opportunities. So my bull case for Cardano is like $6-7 if these things happen. Bear case is it gets to like $1.80 and then tops out there. That's where I'm at. But I'm leaning my bull case over 350. If I got a chance to vote on this poll, I would vote yes. I don't know. What would you vote, Forrest? Would you vote yes on the poll I have up? Will Cardano get to over $3.50 this cycle, or would you vote no?
I'd vote yes.
Okay.
I'd vote yes. I think we've yet to see alts actually run. So yeah, I think alts are going to run.
I agree. Also in the chat, I want to know what you guys think. Let's do the same thing we did for Solana. What's your bear and your bull case for Cardano? Throw it in the chat. I know from Rumble, we had Xterra Greg on Solana said his bear case is 150 and his bull case is 550. I think that's fair. $700, $600-700. I think that's kind of where I'm at. And so, yeah. Okay. Let's talk about a sector that has been slowly gaining a lot of steam. And now you're hearing people outside of crypto talk about how big this opportunity is. And that is, of course, RWA's real world asset tokenization. This is Vlad Tenev, founder and CEO of the largest retail app trading stocks in the world, which is Robinhood. Public service announcement: tokenization will eat the entire global financial system. Thank you for listening. And then you have this article: trillions by 2030. Stellar, Centrifuge, and Moody's outline what's next for real world assets. When you look at this map here for us, this is all of our RWAs, including private equity, including commodities, including government bonds, including everything, right? So this is in order, number 1 through 10, by market share: Ethereum, ZK Sync, Polygon, Arbitrum, Avalanche, Aptos, Solana, Stellar, BNB, and XRP Ledger. The biggest gainer in terms of market share over the last 30 days is Arbitrum, which has gained 146% in market share over the last 30 days. They're also the leader in total value gained over the last 30 days at 181%. Forrest, one, do you agree that the RWA sector is going to be massive? And two, maybe it's on the list on the screen for us, maybe it's not. What is your favorite RWA play? And give me your bear and bull case for it.
I do think it's going to be massive. And I think you guys are much more tapped in and better fundamental analysis than myself. I think you're crushing it there, just keeping up with all of this stuff. I find it a little bit difficult to keep up with lately because there's just so much of it. But yeah, I agree. RWAs are very likely going to be very big. My favorite play based on the chart is XLM. I think XLM has by far the best chart. I think there's a lot to be said for charts that are old and aged and matured. It's a little bit different than like Arbitrum, for example. Arbitrum, while it's like a top gainer in terms of market share, it's a younger chart. You still have a lot of token distribution. You still have a fewer holders, whereas XLM is a chart that's been around since 2014. You've had a long time for tokens to distribute. You've had a massive consolidation. So I think Stellar Lumen's bull case is like 15. I think you can get there faster than what people think. Just remember, for anybody that was around in 2017, which is like, I think it's worth people going back and looking at old charts and how violently things can move. Right? If you remember, like everyone here was probably around in crypto in the election. And if you just look at the election move from like 8 cents, which guys, you should be tuning in this channel like every day, because I think David was buying Stellar Lumens at 10 cents before the election, down here, and then it ran to 60 cents plus. So lots of good calls on this channel. A measured move from there, like if we got something similar to the election move, which is nowhere close to how violent of an alt season we got in 2017, you're looking at a couple bucks. When you look at the move that we had off of 2017, off of this type of pattern, this type of triangle like we had on XRP and XLM, it was magnitudes. It was absolutely massive. We have a much larger consolidation happening right now. This has been going on for 6 or 7 years, basing out. When this breaks out, I think it's going to run super hard. You can see, and it sounds crazy, and people can sit and say, well, like, oh, but it's Stellar Lumen, it's whatever. They come up with reasons to not like this coin when it has a fantastic chart. You go back on Amazon, you see these very similar 7-year consolidations. You see Amazon back in like the 2000s, just going sideways for like 4 years straight. And then when it hits an expansionary phase, it runs super hard. So yeah, like $15, I think is entirely possible. In Q4, maybe a measured move off of our kind of inverse head and shoulders here, if I were to zoom in, might be a better short-term bull case, which would put us, right now we're at 41 cents, just under 41 cents. That could put us up towards, 170 to maybe 250 off of this pattern alone. Bear case is crypto kind of fails and rolls over in 2026. Maybe we get some recession talk, or maybe, something happens, like an unforeseen COVID-like event that causes a capitulation, whatever, then I'd be looking towards the bottom of this base here, which would be as low as like 13 cents. Not my base case whatsoever. I don't think that's going to happen. I actually think this looks great to break out on this inverse head and shoulders. And if this breaks out on the inverse head and shoulders and carries through 70 cents or so, the trade's just beginning. The trade is just beginning. You want to ride this thing up towards a couple bucks, potentially up to 15 or 20.
Damn. $15 to $20. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm very long Stellar Lumens, right? I'm very, very long XRP and XLM.
Dude, that would be huge. I mean, from what, 10 cents to $15, it's 150x, right? Or am I crazy?
Yeah, for you that got in at 10 cents.
Yeah.
I didn't get in at 10 cents. I was long XRP from 50 cents, but I was not paying attention to XLM.
Let's give you some credit for us.
That trade.
Let's give you some credit. You've had some 100x's. So, I always like to go back, and 2 years ago, we created this thing called the first ever crypto almanac. We didn't get to do it. We didn't sell as much as we thought we would. Maybe it would sell better now because our audience is a little bigger. But anyways, I was looking back, and the obvious play for everyone is Ondo. Yes, and nothing wrong with Ondo, nothing at all. Okay? I was looking back. This was in the magazine, and vast majority of the research in here, which, by the way, forced a beautiful XRP right up in this almanac. So RWAs, I had projects on here. I had Ethereum. We talked about, its market dominance. We had Hedera on there with Arcax, Aberdeen, and some of the things they're doing. Obviously, Ondo. But I want to talk about, and Stellar Lumens, of course, we had that on there as well. I want to talk about XDC. I think XDC, it's not a small market cap. It's sitting here at 1.35 billion, but people never talk about it. No one ever talks about XDC. So as a blockchain developed to support trade finance and the tokenization of RWAs, they were the first and only blockchain invited to join the Trade Finance Distribution Initiative, which is a consortium of the world's leading banks and non-bank financial institutions established to bridge that $5 trillion finance trade gap. They got ties to Deutsche, HSBC, AIG, the XDC network, and obviously the token. And I think I gave this one an A+ or an A- for potential. So that's one of them. You don't see them on lists like this, but I think this one has potential. And the other one was, there was another one. Plume. I think Plume's an interesting one too, but if you want very low risk, medium reward, Ondo, XLM, XRP, Hedera. I think ETH obviously is like the no-brainer play, the market share and dominance it's getting. But if you want to go down the list a little bit, look into XDC and look into Plume. I think those ones are very interesting. I think XDC can get to, $6-7 billion market cap, which is like a 5x from here. I think Plume can probably 7 to 10x as well. But RWAs are going to be massive. And here's the thing with RWAs. It's not going to just like be a flash in the pan narrative. It's going to continue to be at the forefront of almost every month going forward, in my opinion. You'll start seeing massive news after massive news, after massive partnership, after massive integrations. You're going to start seeing it. And eventually, it's not just going to be speculative runs. It's going to be utility runs where we can point to the reason and say that is why that token is running, because X, Y, and Z happened, or because this company needed to buy it, or because it was integrated last week. I think that's coming. And so you should have some exposure to real world asset tokenization. I think you're really missing out if you don't. Okay, I want to say a couple things. Number one, I'll be right after this, I'll be rotating into the trading show. And so come join me. We'll break down some charts, put in some trades. We are currently in a couple of trades. I'll share the update on those. We've been hitting some really nice trades. We've been throwing them in Discord, so join us there. Also, you guys know George from Cryptos R Us, friend of the channel. I'll be playing in the Clash tournament. Clash Royale. I played it so much that I had to delete it off my phone. Well, guess what? I just put it back on my phone and I'll be playing in the tournament. So if you want to play, go to this handle here on X, George Plays Clash, and then fill out the form and then come play. I'll be in there. My handle is DAVO, Davo. It's like the Armenian nickname I was given by my dad. So anyways, if you want to play, come join me. It'll be a lot of fun. It's a Clash tournament. Also, if you guys want more Forrest, Towns is the best place to find him. And all the alpha. And Forrest, why don't you tell people how they can, if they want to get into Towns, how they can do it?
Yeah, you can just go over to my Twitter profile at Sistine Research, or you can go to sistine.ai. And then in the top banner, there's like a Towns community section. And then you can just join the Towns. I think it's like 0.1 ETH or something. So I think it's pretty good value. We've actually gotten airdrops just for being in the Towns that have paid for most people's entry fees. And then, yeah, I've had some pretty solid trades. Crypto's been rough lately. I think that's changing. I think I'm bullish on crypto in Q4, but we've been crushing it on gold, silver, and platinum trades that have just been outperforming recently. So even when crypto takes a break, there's always an asset to trade and make money off of. So yeah, app.towns.com. You can also find us there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, man, there's you've had some bangers in there, my friend, and I'm in there. I got a Towns airdrop that more than covered what I paid to get in there. And so, yeah, guys, if you want, here, I'll just drop this in the comments section. so you guys can take a look. Also, if you're not subbed to the channel, make sure to do so and go follow Forrest on X. We go live Monday through Friday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We did put out an HBAR video yesterday. Go watch it. And with that being said, I feel like I'm missing. Oh, Forrest, real quick, just like super quick. Only because I saw the Pudgy Penguin on your profile pic. Where do you think Pengu goes, market cap wise?
I don't even know what is it right now. Like 3 billion.
Let's find out right now.
I gotta have a
1.9 billion market cap.
What's the time frame?
Cycle top.
Oh, cycle time. Oh, so it's 2.77 fully.
Fully diluted, yeah.
10.
10? So 4x from here?
Or yeah, 3x or
3x.
A little, yeah, 3.5, 4. Yeah.
So all right, 10 cents, essentially 10 cents.
Sure.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm in the multiple billions, bro. I'm in the multiple billions. I love the brand. I love what they're doing. Luca and the team, and so yeah. Anyways, with that being said, Gino, roll the outro. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Again, stay in the chat. You'll be automatically redirected back to the channel for the trading show. Come join me. I love you guys. See you in 5 minutes. Peace.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin, it's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.